Hi, everyone. How are you? Hope you are well. So, today I'm going to talk about what is going on over in California. So, California, they have been working on reparations. They're looking at five key areas of discrimination in health, health disparities, discrimination as it comes to mass incarceration, discrimination in policing, discrimination in the area of housing, discrimination in confiscation of property, and also devaluation of businesses. So, those are the areas that they're looking into. There are other areas of discrimination. I'll just give you one example. That's the workplace. How does that look in the workplace? In the workplace, that looks as they won't hire you, basically. And then also, when you do get hired, being promoted over by someone with less education and less period of time. So, those are some examples of how discrimination looks in the workplace. Um, but they are looking at those other areas, those other five key areas that I just mentioned: health, mass incarceration, policing, housing, confiscation of property, and devaluation of business. So, this is what is going on. So they have a panel over in California Reparations Task Force. This task force is composed of 9 members, and they're calling for state and federal government to pass reparations legislation, voting, housing, education, policing, incarceration. So those are the areas: voting, housing, education, policing, incarceration. So what this would look like, it would be in the form of cash or its equivalent. So recently there were more than 100 residents that gathered around the city of Oakland. And so far, this proposal has not been implemented as of yet. But they are stating that the state owes $800 billion in reparations. $800 billion in reparations because of this discrimination that Black people face in almost every sector that you can think of. They have these 5 sectors, but people are everywhere. Thus, discrimination is everywhere, not just these 5 sectors that you can think of. So, they gave some examples on what this would look like. So, $13,600 per year for a shorter life due to health disparities. $13,600 a year for a shorter life due to health disparities. $2,400 a year for policing. $2,400 a year for policing. $3,400 a year for housing discrimination. $3,400 a year for housing discrimination. A lump sum of $77,000 for devaluation of business. Lump sum of $77,000 for devaluation of business. They gave an example. Looking at a 71-year-old, a 71-year-old is owed $1.2 million. A 71-year-old is owed $1.2 million. Looking at a 19-year-old, a 19-year-old will be owed $150,000. So these are some examples that they gave. So in order to qualify, you would have to be a descendant of enslaved people or a free Black person in the United States before 1900. So this is what California is working on. The proposal has not passed as of yet. But I'm going to read to you some of the things that are in this proposal besides this cash payout. So they have the cash payout, but they also have this proposal. Um, and they are working on this proposal. And so this is for to be implemented, and they're calling on the state and the federal government to pass reparations. So I'm going to read to you some of the things that are in this proposal besides the cash or the cash equivalent. So as I read along, I would like for you to think on it. Do you agree or do you disagree? And what do you think? Number one, so creating a new agency to implement reparation laws. A new agency to implement reparation laws. These are some of the things that are listed on this proposal. Abolishing the death penalty. Abolishing the death penalty. What are your thoughts about that? Okay, paying fair market value for jail and prison labor. So they have labor in jail and prison. The inmates are working over there in jail and prison, and they're getting paid a certain amount of money. Um, and so, according to this proposal, they want them to have fair market value for their labor. Something else on the proposal: preventing private prisons from contracting with the state. Preventing private prisons from contracting with the state. So that's very interesting that the state is working with the private prisons. There must be a lot behind the scenes on that. Another thing, public colleges and universities would be free. Public colleges and universities would be free. Another thing on the proposal, election day will be a paid state holiday. Fun wellness centers. Restore voting rights to people convicted of crimes. Restore voting rights to people convicted of crimes. Adopt a universal health insurance system. Adopt a universal health insurance system. So I'm seeing a lot of trends that have to do with jail. That's what I'm seeing. So these are some of the things listed on this proposal. These are the things that they are working on besides the cash payout. So the issue of discrimination is real. And if you're not a person of color, then you really don't know what it is to be discriminated against. So these are the 5 areas that they are looking at. And this is what is happening over in California. They have a task force over there, and they are working diligently on this. So, like I said before, this is a proposal that has not been passed as of yet. But I just thought it would be interesting to bring it on and talk about it, because there is a there is a wealth gap, a real wealth gap, and there are reasons why we have such a wide wealth gap, right? Very deep rooted issues on why the wealth gap is here. All right. But the wealth gap is here. The wealth gap is real. Discrimination is real. And this is what California is working on. All right. So if you like the channel, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you won't miss the episode. Also, leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this? All right. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Have a good rest of your night.